So we have, something that's relatively serious like Superman, and then something that's relatively comedic like Peacemaker, all in the same universe.
Hey everyone, welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thanks for stopping by. If you're looking forward to Superman, the DCU, Batman, and more, hit that subscribe button. We're going to talk about it all the time, lead up and after the movie's release. We're hoping to hit 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're about 30 away. Thank you all for your support. Today I want to talk about the tone of Superman. I know there's been a lot of conversation going around, especially from fans that I have seen also online about James Gunn's handling of Superman. A lot of people are like, oh, he's too goofy and whatnot, and they seem to talk down about him as a filmmaker sometimes. And if you look at something like The Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy, I can understand the concern that people would have about it. But let's go into this quote now that he has from MovieZine. He was on MovieZine and he had this to say about the DCU and Superman itself. Everything's going to be totally different. One of the things I love about DC Comics is that they've always been able to tell different stories in different ways. They've told stories that were more family-oriented, stories that were more adult-oriented, dark stories, light stories. I think for us, we just want to tell a bunch of different stories. A lot of those different stories are going to be in the DCU. We have something that's relatively serious like Superman, and then something that's relatively comedic like Peacemaker, all in the same universe. Something very adult like Peacemaker, something pretty family-friendly like Superman. I thought it was very intriguing the way he said something pretty family-friendly, and he kind of has a little smirk. If you watch the video, he has a little bit of a smirk when he says that.
Very adult like Peacemaker, something very family, pretty family friendly like Superman.
And you get the sense that it might be, kind of family friendly. There's probably going to be a little bit more darker, adulty, maybe not darker, but more adulty tones into Superman when you watch it, but it is ultimately going to be for children and families and their parents and friends and everybody. It's going to be something that everybody can watch in the theater and enjoy. And I think this is very crucial to DC. I've mentioned this a few times on this channel before, and that's Superman. There's so much riding on Superman, and I don't think it's going to be the perfect film, but it needs to almost be that. It needs to almost be the perfect film for the DCU. This is going to be our entry point into the new DC films, the DCU, the DC studios. This is the one that's going to get people to make, that's going to make or break the next couple of years for them, especially because, look, if Superman is terrible, are you going to trust Supergirl? I'm not sure. Maybe Peacemaker might get you back in, but that's so genre specific. That's so specific to the demographic, and it's obviously, like you said, more adult oriented. So Superman is one that everything focuses on. So I think James Gunn understands the assignment. I mean, he's the head of a studio. His pitch, obviously, him and Peter Safran's pitch obviously had to be strong enough that Warner Bros. Was like, okay, you guys, you take DC and you do what you want with it. We believe in you. And my feeling is that he understands the Superman assignment. And I think when I say I mean, from everything we've seen, we know that James Gunn is a massive comic book fan. He's a massive DC fan. And Superman is, he is the crown jewel. He's the Mickey Mouse of superheroes, of DC anyway. Everyone knows Superman. Everyone knows Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, 100%. And I think knowing that and going into this, he has this perfect understanding of, okay, this needs to be special, but it can't be Guardians of the Galaxy, and it certainly can't be Suicide Squad. Certainly. He understands that there has to be a certain tone maintained throughout. He also knows, and look, I'm a massive fan of Man of Steel, and I understand the naysayers and whatnot. I understand the criticisms, but I absolutely love that film. But also, you can say, you know what, that went a little bit dark. It went a little bit dark. I love it. But maybe you look at Superman, and Superman is full of hope, right? He's full of hope. You want to infuse hope on the audience and let them know that this is a hero for the generations. This is somebody you want to believe in. And having that in this new Superman is what they're going to need. It's going to have to be a giant balancing act of superhero, of drama, and of comedy, because you still have to have some comedy, some lightheartedness in it, and not over the top zany comedy. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying what's been referred to lately as the Marvel comedy. Just a little bit of laughs here and there, some lightheartedness to it. It is Superman after all. Superman, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, those are your big three. You've got to deal with that. And I think James Gunn is understanding that, yeah, this has to be pretty serious and pretty family friendly. It has to be serious. It can't be goofy like Guardians. There's not going to be a dance-off at the end. And if there is, you can come back here and yell at me. But I don't think there's going to be a dance-off at the end of this. And The Suicide Squad, another film I absolutely loved, had a lot of goofiness in there as well. But one thing I think is going to happen, I think we're going to get a kaiju in this in some capacity. I'll do a video on that another day. I think that's James Gunn's sweet spot, is doing that. He's going to figure out how to get that in. I'm really hoping for a Gorilla Grodd one day, but that's probably, a long ways away. But I think he understands that this film can't just be for teenage boys, and it can't just be, the frat group or whatever. This has to be for everybody. This is the entry point into the DCU. This is Superman, a time-honored character that people love, that people respect. And a lot of people, I'm going to get the comments on this one. He bores me anyway. His challenge is to not make Superman boring, to make him interesting, but to remind fans why they love Superman. Side Akbar, the holidays are coming up. It's Black Friday time. And if you're looking for a gift for a loved one, a friend, or a family member, check out Limelight Co candles. They are organic, no paraffins, coconut soy. You can get molds, you can get different scents. Check out the website. And if you promo code Black Friday 10, you'll get 10% off your order. Remind fans why they love superhero movies, in fact. And so it has to be a little bit serious. There has to be real stakes. We have to understand that this is a real event that's going on in the world of the DCU that's going to make us go to the next one. Now, it's not going to connect to the next one. Creature Commandos, Superman, like they're going to have little pieces. Obviously, Rick Flag Sr., things are going to connect, but it's not going to lead you into it, right? It's not going to be, you have to watch this one to watch that one. But at the same time, you have to like this one to want to go see the next one. And if they can instill that trust within the viewers, then that's what they're going to do. And Superman has all that writing on it. And so when he says the tone is serious, I completely understand it. I understand there's going to be jokes. There's going to be some, probably fearful elements in it. But ultimately, it's going to be a fun ride that's going to take itself serious as a Superman film, the way my guess is the 78 Superman film did. That's how I think it's going to have that similar vibe to it, that similar approach to it. Maybe a little bit less goofy at times, but it's going to have that. There's still going to be a lot of laughter in it. But it's going to take itself relatively serious. It's good, it's not going to make fun of what Superman is or who Superman is. Maybe a character will, but the movie itself won't. The movie is going to have full respect for Superman and what Superman stands for. And then also, I think we're going to get probably, and this is, I'm going to go on a limb, I think we're going to get the most comic accurate Clark Kent you can get in this movie. This movie might be better than 78 Superman. I don't know if people will be willing to say that. Like, there's nostalgia and everything, people have a special bond with that film. Again, I love Man of Steel, but I feel like this one might be the strongest Superman movie we're going to get. Now, whether any of us are willing to admit that when it happens, I don't know. I might not even want to admit it if it happens. And if it is terrible, again, we can all come back here and talk about how bad it was. But I have faith in James Gunn, Peter Safran, and the direction that this is going in. And when you hear James Gunn talking about it, he sounds like a little kid who's just super excited and eager to show the world this thing that he's made. And I think he's going to knock this one out of the park. And I think talking about a serious tone is what this needs, and needs to remind everybody why we love Superman and why we love superheroes. Also, if you haven't checked out Holy Christmas Batman from my friend Brian Royer, link in the description below. It is a jolly good time. But time will tell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you have faith in James Gunn's Superman? And are you going to go see it opening weekend this July? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Give us a like and a subscribe. And until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.